Well, I've just dug this out. It was a 20. I don't know about you, but that looks to me like a gold ring. Going back on this field that I've been on for the last few weeks, probably the last chance now because the crop's started to come up, so I have to be really careful with these, and I probably won't come back again until this has been cultivated, taken off rather. Anyway, wish me luck. I'm not going to film this on the small camera. This is just a tiny lead ball, presume a bit of lead shot. It's just there, very strong, but kind of giving a double signal when I look at it that way. I'm going to try and dig this one live. I say live, it's not really live, you know what I mean, in one go. Still in there. Couple more, and then I'll use the pinpointer. Look, look at that. There it is. Now that it's probably good. It looks blank because I suspect I would have scraped that. I'll clean it out when I get home. Okay, this has just fallen back in the hole, but I can immediately see what it is. Can you see? It's a thimble. You find a lot of these when you're metal detecting, and they're usually in pretty poor state. Occasionally, if you're very lucky, you can find a silver one. This one's complete at least, a bit bashed around, quite worn. For me this is quite a large thimble. Usually I find them a lot smaller than this. I found something, you know, half this size, but this one I could probably fit on my finger, just about. It's a nice personal object. I'm not sure why we find so many thimbles in fields. That, you know, maybe they used them when they were planting or picking something, or maybe just so many people were sowing that they had a lot of thimbles and they ended up being thrown away. But you find a lot of thimbles. It's nice. I don't know how old it will be. Not very old, I would have thought. Victorian, but Georgian perhaps. So I'm not sure what this is. I recognise it as sort of an eye shape or oval, whatever. I think it's about half of it, but I can't remember what they are. So I'll have to go back and do a bit of research. Maybe like a seal matrix, you know, like a stamp. I'm not sure, but it's interesting. It's right near some trash, so I didn't want to film it, so I presumed it would be trash. Here's this seal, a matrix seal. I've always wanted to find one of these. Unfortunately there's quite a lot of sort of crust, I don't know how else to describe it, on this, so it's really hard to do an impression, but I'll be able to get a few letters from it. I don't really want to clean it anymore because I'm worried about damaging it, but despite its condition I'm still really happy with this. I think they date usually from around the sort of 13th, 14th century, so this is a really old personal item that someone would have had and used to, I don't know why, like mark letters, you know, put seals onto things. But yeah, really happy with this. See a lot better now. I'll take a photo. There's a matrix seal identification group on Facebook, which I'm going to post it there now. Just pulled this up. Thought it was a button, it only came up as the 10. But now I'm looking at it, before I scrape the soil off, actually looks like it could be a little hammered coin. So it's quite dry, this soil, so I don't want to scratch the coin or whatever it is, so I'm going to spray it a little bit. Ah, don't have enough water. I'm going to do this properly. No, I'm not. I really don't want to scratch it. Last time I got a really good coin. This is definitely a hammered coin. Okay, I'm not going to touch that. I'm going to do the right thing and clean this a bit more delicately rather than doing it on camera. Yeah, definitely a hammered coin. There's the back, short cross, short voided cross. So I'm trying to learn all these terms. There's a sort of cross on the back. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a cross on the back. Voided means there's a line, sort of two lines, so there's a void between the lines. And short is that it doesn't go all the way to the ends. So that could be quite an early coin. I'm not too familiar with that, but I think the voided ones are a bit earlier, and I'm not sure. I'm going to stop talking because I always get this wrong. Let's just look at it when I get back and clean it up nicely. That's a very good start to the day. Okay, as I put it into my bag, the water had started to take effect, and the mud was starting to come off, and look at this. I gave it a very gentle wipe, and you can see this face here looking at me. I don't know much about it, but I think this is a fairly early coin, you know, about 1,000 years ago, 1100s, something like that, if I was going to take a wild guess. So I'm really excited. Again, it's someone who I don't know who it is, so I love going home and finding out which monarch I found, you know, doing some research. I love a mystery. When I get home, it feels like I'm finding a coin all over again when I discover who it is. So there's the back. Looks like I should get some good detail off this. I mean, it's a fairly solid coin. Fair amount of writing on it. It's a little bit worn, but fantastic. Look at that sort of primitive looking representation of a monarch. Can't imagine he was very happy with that when he got the coin back. So I've done a bit of research. I couldn't work out what this coin was at all. The writing doesn't make any sense, and the portrait is different of his little kind of flicks on his curls and his hair. I posted it on, I think it's English Hammered Coins and English Hammered and Milled Coins group on Facebook, and they've come back with an identification for it being a Continental copy of a short cross penny, which would have been struck in Germany, in Lippe in Germany. I'm not 100% sure why they made copies of these coins, but that's what it is. So it's quite exotic, I suppose, and that made it hard to identify. It's also, you know, you can see these cracks. I'm terrified about damaging it, so this is probably the last time I'm going to handle it, and then it's going to go into a little coin capsule, and then it's going to get recorded with the PAS database. But yeah, really happy with that. It's really unusual, and such a wonderful little face on there. Literally dreaming about something like this happening, because I've been watching loads of mudlarking videos. You know, when they get a little edge of gold in something. Well, I've just dug this out. It was a 20. I don't know about you, but that looks to me like a gold ring. I really want to try and get... It doesn't look... Oh, that is a gold ring. That is absolutely a gold ring. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And look at that design as well. That doesn't... I thought it was going to be something modern, but that looks hand done to me, which makes me think it's older. And look at the size of it. It's not a little tiny one. It's massive. I think I can even wear this. Oh my gosh. A gold ring! I'm sorry. I'm really trying to contain my excitement. And now I've got to do a bloody dance. I found the gold ring. A big chunky gold ring, and it looks like it might have a bit of age to it as well. Wow, I would have thought, you know, at least before Victorian. I would have thought sort of Tudor, possibly. But I'm always wrong on my little estimates. It looks like it's got a little flower design. Okay, I'm going to clean it up a little bit. I can't believe I just found a gold ring. Okay, here we are. I'm going to try and give it a little rinse to see if I can see a bit more detail on it. I can't contain myself. I did a little dance. I'm very excited, as I'm sure anyone would be. I've never found gold before. I found like a tiny minuscule of gold when I was mudlarking. A little bit of Tudor jewellery, which I'm not really counting because it was very, very small. But this is, I mean, you can't really say anything else. This is a big chunky piece of gold. Let's just hope Sauron's not paying attention. Oh my god, there's writing inside. What does it say? What? It's in like Gothic type. I mean, I can't read. So I'm sorry if this is so shaky. Look at that, it's got text inside it, and I can't decipher that. A nice sort of Gothic font, hand done. I don't know what it is, you know, it sort of resembles a little bit. I was going to say a Posy ring, but it's nothing like a Posy ring, it's much bigger. Don't know what that is, I'll have to look back when I get back. And then it's got this lovely design on it. It looks like there's a sort of flower with maybe a leaf around it. Look at that gold, it's so rich in colour. Yellowy orange. Incredible. One last thing I need to do. Okay, here we go. It fits. I hope I can get it off. Alright, okay, it doesn't. Is it going to go on there? It does fit. Wow, you know what? Usually people have smaller hands. I've got big hands, and that is too big for me. Incredible. Now I won't wear this because it's hand. Oh no, that is actually stuck. That is actually stuck. Okay, don't panic. Oh my god, is that okay? Right. I won't wear this. You know, it's got a hand engraved design on it, so I don't want to scratch it or anything. So I'll take it to my FLO and take it to my club's meeting tonight, in a metal detecting club. See if I can get a bit of an age on it, and be really happy to show everyone. I'm just over the moon. I've been doing about 10 minutes of video, so I'm gonna have to edit this down, but who wouldn't relish this moment? Wonderful. Well, still got 2 hours left. See if I find another one. I've got a few more details on this. So it is actually a Posy ring. I don't know why I didn't think it was. All the Posy rings I'd seen were sort of small and delicate with an inscription all the way around the inside. But because this is so large and I didn't recognise the lettering, I didn't think it was for some reason. Age-wise, I've heard it's probably around sort of 15th century, 16th century, but it could be a bit earlier and it could be later as well. I've seen some Georgian rings that aren't too dissimilar. For the inscription, that's a bit of a mystery still. My friend Tony had a go at deciphering it, and he believes it says MA VIE, which seems the most likely to me. That means to my life or for my life in Old Norman French. Whatever it says, it's clearly a very personal message. I like to imagine it was given by a loving wife to her husband, who cherished it, and somehow he lost it in this field, only for me to discover it hundreds of years later. Anyway, let's go back to the fields for one last find. I foolishly didn't film this one. It was just a 7, bit scratchy, so I didn't bother. And also the farmer's arriving behind me with his sprayer, so I wanted to be quick. But look, can you see what this is? This is a first for me, something I've always wanted to find. It's only partial, but I can pretty much instantly see that that is part of a Roman fibula brooch, I believe, unless I'm very mistaken. I can't actually see it tremendously well, but it looks like it is. It looks like there might even be a little bit of sort of marking on there as well. Well, I'm going to go and show the farmer straight away. Incredible! And this is about 10 minutes after finding the most amazing thing I found on this field. The gold item that I'm sure I'm going to show you, or have already shown you. Wow. This is that little Roman fibula brooch, and I believe it's a Colchester type. I don't quite know what that means. I presume it was made in Colchester. You know, originally it would have come down to about here, and then it would have been a sort of pin running up the back, and this would have been used to hold their clothes together. In my head, I'm imagining them wearing a toga and just holding their toga on, but probably or something a bit more rugged than that, a bit warmer. Yeah, ordinarily this would be sort of my find of the week, or, you know, like over a long period of time, this would have been my most extraordinary find. But, you know, just a short period of time, probably 10 minutes before I found this, I found that golden ring. So this doesn't lessen this in any way. This is still a dream find for me. I've always wanted to find one of these. So super happy with this, and I'm just about to bag it up and give it to my finds liaison officer, where hopefully I'll find out a bit more about it. Really cool.